Tonight we have brand new Goblin support and a couple Diabellstar cards. So let's get right into it as there's a total of 9 to go over. And the first one we have is Goblin Rider Kamikaze Dagu. It is an Earth Warrior effect, 1600 attack and 0 defense. And you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can detach one material on the field and special summon this card, and if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Goblin Rider spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Very good starting off with the archetype, and that is the name of the archetype being Goblin Rider. So let's get into the other cards and see what they do all together. Already off to an interesting start, but this deck is based around rank 3s, and we have another level 3 being Goblin Rider Explosive Roar Kurata, and it's a Fire Beast Warrior effect, 1500 attack and 0 defense. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. One is if this card is normal or special summon, you can target one goblin monster other than Explosive Roar in your graveyard, special summon it, and during your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, detach a material from the field, special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Very good extender and also can interrupt some plays. I definitely like it because it can get to your rank 3s faster. And honestly, this deck looks very fun. So being able to use reinforcements of the army and fire formation tank is very good because this next one is also a warrior monster with 1300 attack, Goblin Rider Mach Boom. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, quick effect. You can detach one material from this card, or from the field I mean, special summon this card. You cannot special summon Goblin Rider Mach Boom until the end of the next turn. So it locks you in until the end of the next turn. So you can do it only once every other turn, which is very interesting of a card. But I can understand because this is more so as a extender. In addition, with those two searchers that we can also run Tour Guide of the Underworld because we have Goblin Rider Cold-Blooded Mianda? She's a Water Fiend effect monster, 1400 attack, 0 defense. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can special summon a goblin monster from your hand other than Goblin Rider Cold-Blooded Mianda. And during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can detach one material from the field, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So this is also another very good card, and I can't believe that we have multiple extenders that kind of do the exact same thing in this deck, but that's very unique for this actual archetype. Being a deck based around rank 3s, of course, one of their main monsters is a rank 3, being Big Head Gabanga the Goblin Rider. It is a light rank 3 Beast Warrior Exceed effect monster with 2100 attack and 0 defense. And it takes 2 level 3 monsters, so super generic. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card with this card's name once per turn. If this card is Exceed summoned, you can add one goblin monster from your deck to your hand. If an Exceed material is detached from a monster on the field, you can target one other face-up monster on the field, attach it to this card. And during the end phase, you can attach one goblin monster from your deck to this card. So being able to detach any goblin monster is very scary, but also being able to attach any monster on the field to this is also super scary because it's a form of spot removal, and you could just gain a lot of advantage on it. And because your cards are being quick effects, you could do it on your opponent's turn, and this is going to be a really interesting rank 3 deck. Maybe you could splash it in with stuff like BA. Maybe Ken and Jen can be used as well, with Talon's Thrust as a mini engine so you can get stuff going faster if you need other parts. Even Tour Guide works as well, Terratop and Tektomborg too. So there's many options for rank 3 options that you can realistically use for the deck, and I actually quite find that very nice. Next up, we have a different part of the boss monster, being the Goblin's Crazy Beast. It is a dark rank 6 fiend effect monster with 2700 attack and 0 defense, and it takes 2 plus level 6 monsters. You can only use the third effect of this card's name per duel. The third effect once per duel. Okay, so the first effect once per turn during quick effect, you can target one spell or trap card on the field, detach 2 materials from a monster on the field, and if you do, attach that targeted card to this card. Okay, spell and trap card removal, which is good. If a monster you control would be destroyed by an effect, you could detach one material from this card instead. Okay. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it, then you can attach one goblin monster from your graveyard to this card. I wish that effect wasn't a hard once per duel, but I guess it's a free 2,700 a body, but I really don't see the need for that. If it was a hard once per turn every other turn, that would be very good and definitely a little better than that. But outside of that, this is a very crazy boss monster, pun intended with the name. But now let's get to the spells and traps, as those are going to be the more interesting part of the deck. So for the first spell, we have Goblin Rider's Great Gathering. It's a continuous spell card, and you can only use the third effect of this card once per turn. So only the third effect, which is absolutely fine. But the first effect is Goblin monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Goblin monster you control, so you can get a total of 1,800 attack. During your main phase, if you can normal summon one Goblin monster in addition to your normal summoner set, you can only gain this effect once per turn. And the third effect is target 2 Goblin monsters you control. Apply one of these effects. The level of one of them become the level of the other, or the level of both of them becomes their combined levels. So this card allows access to level 3 or rank 3 plays. It also allows access to the additional rank 6 plays. So there will be options for us to do with this deck to actually play rank 6s if we need to, like maybe Photon Strike Bouncer, Constellar M7, Wolo, just a lot of good generic rank 6s that we have access to. And this is one of the better cards in the deck, I do have to say. Next up, we have Goblin Rider's Grand Visit. It is a normal spell card, and you can only use each of these effects, 1 and 2, of cards with this name once per turn. You add one Goblin monster from your deck to your hand, then you can detach one material from an Exceed monster on the field, and if you do, special summon one level 4 or lower Goblin monster from your hand. And then you could banish this card from your graveyard, detach one material from an Exceed monster on the field, then you can add one Goblin monster from your graveyard to your hand. There are quite a bit of Goblin targets, but that's going to be another video explaining these cards and how they function and work as a deck and what are the best ones to search later down the line. This is a very good card because it gets an extender. It also gets to multiple of your cards, and I am very happy for this actual archetype getting an actual deck now. Now for the only trap card in the deck, we have Goblin Rider's Stampeding. It is a continuous trap card, and you can only use one of these effects, 1 or 2, of cards with this card's name once per turn and only once that turn. The first effect is during either player's main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves Exceed summon 1 Exceed monsters by using only Goblin monsters you control. Or the second effect, if you control a Goblin Exceed monster, target one monster on the field, detach a material from an Exceed monster on the field, and if you do, that target has its effects negated until the end of the turn. This is actually a very strong trap card, and it can definitely cause a few issues here and there because you can quick Exceed into something of a rank 3, 4, or 6, depending on what you have on your field, because you can also run things like Goblin Attack Force, and all of those other old school Goblin cards. So it's very nice that we could just quick Exceed with them now. Now finally we have the Snake Eye support cards, and we have Snake Eye Phosphorus. It is a fire level 1 pyro monster, 700 attack and 200 defense, and you can only use each of the effects 1, 2, and 3 of this card's name once per turn. If this card is added to the hand except by drawing it, you can special summon this card. If this card is normal to special summoned, you can add one Snake Eye spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one fire monster in your graveyard, place it in its owner's spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell card. Overall, this is actually a card that Snake Eye really needed for a 4th name, being able to, if you add it off Bonfire, special summon it, then you get a Snake Eye spell or trap card. That's very powerful, and then you can just link it away and place itself in the spell and trap card zone. which, in my opinion, this is one of the best Snake Eye monsters that we've received to date now. So I cannot wait to see what the actual deck does with this brand new level 1. And finally, we have the final card being Snake Eye Drama. This is a quick play spell card, and you can only use each of these effects, one or two of cards with this name, once per turn. You can place one Diabell Star monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in its owner's spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. And during the end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one monster card in your spell and trap card zone that's treated as a continuous spell, and special summon it. So being able to get things like your Diabell Star out from your spell and trap card zone is very good. Getting your Snake Eye monsters out is also very good, or any other card that you place in the spell and trap card zone. Overall, the new Goblin archetype is very great. Goblin Riders, amazing of a rank 3 deck, and the two brand new Snake Eye cards are also pretty great. So if you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button as well. We are close to 1,200 subscribers. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.